folks, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2, the House Fleming Dynasty. As we left off last time, England, King Richard the First of England, waged war on the entirety of France to claim Vexin on behalf of his lover, Duchess Hermione of Normandy. Now, off camera, immediately after the last session, I thought, well, how is this war going to fare? How are England going to fare in this war? And I took a look at the levy sizes of both realms. We go to the realm tree of Richard of England, and we can see that he has at his disposal about 16,000 men. He has a high crown authority, his vassals are all under his thumb, and therefore he has some cohesion in the land and a large levy force as a result of it. And then we head to France. If I can find the ruler of France to find their levy size. Where are they? Where are the blighters? Kingdom of France. Okay, I don't know where he is. Holed up here. Somewhere far, far away by the looks of it. But anyway, his realm tree. France has at its disposal only 4,607 men. England has more than twice. More than twice? More than 3 times the levy size of France, and therefore this war that we are currently engaged in should be a walkover for the mighty England. But as somebody has pointed out, there is one drawback with this. King Richard is an old man, and if he dies we get a new king, and with a new king usually comes trouble and strife within England's lands, which may lead to people pulling out, going independent, and thus affecting the war. We'll have to see what happens. So before I start the ball rolling, I will just go through a few things from the last session, as I usually do. I remember commenting about, is King Richard going to change the succession law of England? He has only daughters, and therefore if he changed the law to agnatic cognatic primogeniture from agnatic, then his daughters could take the throne, and yes, he has ruled for long enough to do that. However, as somebody pointed out rightly, you can't change succession laws unless all your vassals have a positive opinion of you. And as we can see down here, one vassal has a negative, and therefore that affects his ability to change the succession law. And how ironic that the one vassal that's got a negative opinion and stopping him is the heir to the throne. So that's why he hasn't changed the succession law, I assume. Also, as pointed out by somebody, old Duke George I of Cornwall, 62 years young, has a great-grandchild. His eldest son, Duke Ambrose, his eldest son, George Fleming, future ruler of the Duke of Normandy, future Duke of Normandy, has had, at the young age of 22, his own child, who he has also named George. So we have tons of Georges here. But yes, young George Fleming is 1 year old. He has no special traits about him, but he is the great-grandson of the mighty George I of Cornwall. Isn't that sweet? So, good old great-grandfather George. Also, a bit of history we found out last time. I was looking for Zealand, which is here, and apparently, as people have pointed out on the comments page, this is the Zealand that is sort of the precursor to New Zealand. Bit of history lesson there. And a lot of people have been requesting over in my council that this Powys, I can't remember how to pronounce it now, is a blight in England's lands. It's just an eyesore having some brownness here to what is Wales, and therefore if we can manage to fabricate a claim here before we continue the rest of our quest in Ireland, we might just liberate Powys under England's banner. So that's a possible future expansion. And then one last thing before we start the ball rolling. We have a grandson to marry off. William Fleming is part of our court because his father has died, and therefore we have the right to marry him off. And somebody commented, and marrying him off to remember this courtier, Debray, however she's called? She has apparently has a daughter who is unmarried. She's young also, and she's a princess. So a strange union here between a princess of a long land far away marrying my slow grandson. Bless his heart. Bit of a dunce. But look at the prestige that he will get. William will gain 16 prestige from marrying into their house and a massive 400 from prestige from marrying a princess. Yes, a princess of a land that she no longer is in control of. Well, she's been exiled far, far away, but a princess nonetheless. Honour, prestige dictate that this is a marriage that a slow grandson of Duke George should be happy to be a part of, and therefore we're going to give it a blast. Bit of a strange union there indeed. Foreign affairs. So that is all that is left over from my last session. Thank you once again to all of you who've posted comments highlighting certain things for my attention. Always much appreciated. So, the order of today's session is going to be the war with France and how that progresses. And because there's going to be a lot of things happening, I'm just going to start off the session on, I think we'll go on 2 speed. I think that's going to be slow enough, because we're going to be tracking this war pretty closely to see how England fares in claiming Vexin. And then if they do claim Vexin, what is the king going to do next? Judging how weak France are, is he going to press any more advantages, take advantage of France's sort of fractured lands? And of course, that is what we have already suggested. Yes, I agree. She arrives at our court. Is the marriage going ahead? Has it already happened? Indeed it has. So she comes across to our court, and my grandson, William Fleming the Slow, although he's a mastermind theologian, a slow priest, Countess Wilhelmina of Mason, my daughter-in-law. Is that who Arthur married? It is. She's now dead. Arthur is now... Is he Count of Meissen outright? Or is he not? No. He's Count because his wife was Countess. The true Count is actually his eldest son, Count Blave. So he is now the Count of Meissen, which that should provide us with an alliance, should it not? We'll just check that out actually. We'll see if it provides us with an alliance. It does indeed. So there we go, an alliance. We can't call him into war, of course, because he's outside our realm. But an alliance nonetheless. So House Fleming expands once again. Right, what's it? You see there, 1117. So we'll go to around about 1122. Usually the 5-year sort of rule will apply here. Or, if Duke George of Cornwall happens to kick the bucket before then, we might just pause the session there also, because that's quite a major change. Unless it happens within the first 10 minutes, of course. So England at war with France, they are sort of pressing their advantage. Got 4,000 men besieging Vexin, and a massive 11,000 assaulting Amiens. I don't know how to pronounce that, but put a D in front of it and you get my name. So let's see where George is. You see, George 62, the king, not allowing us a life of retirement. You've served the crown for so many years. Couldn't we just have a day off? Couldn't we just not get involved in the war for a change and just rule in our own lands, just to live out the rest of our life in peace and quiet? No! He orders us to lead troops in Amiens. And indeed we are. This is the army of Duke George. Duke George, at age 62 years old, is heading 11,000 English troops under the banner of the Free Lions. Look at him go. The leader of the entire army. That's quite the honour bestowed upon us. Does George want anything to do with this war at age 62? I would say not. he doesn't have the best opinion of Duchess Hermione, so he cares not for her claims. Although it's a double-edged sword, really, because the more land that Normandy gets, the better it is for his grandson, who will come to power in Normandy. But it's almost bittersweet that we're doing it on behalf of that cheating wench, Hermione of Normandy. Anyhow, some kind of treachery here, but that will not matter. 10,000 men, no matter how much treachery occurs, they're still gonna fall. And the war score is already at 23% in less than 6 months, so this is going to be a very swift war. France are powerless to stop this English onslaught, which is nice to see. Well, is this marking the start of hostilities between England and France for God knows how many years now? We'll have to see. But the war score increases steadily. Now 31%. English force 37%. This is actually a fairly swift war, to be honest with you. I think we should liberate Anjou next. It dawns on you one day that there is plenty of intrigue happening right under your nose. Your servants, from the kitchen maids to the stable boys, share juicy gossip with each other on a daily basis. If you want to improve at this twisted game of manipulation and deceit, then perhaps you ought to dive in and join the prattle. Fine. If you can't beat them, join them. That's what I say. It's about time Duke George at age 62 lent his hand to a bit of intrigue himself. Not cared for such low acts in the past. Why not try something new? His son seems to like it. Must have some merits. So this war continuing, 53%. Where is he holed up? I'm intrigued as to where he is. He's leading troops, so we don't know where his court is, but... Ah, it could be down here somewhere. No? Is it on this? Oh, is it on one of these islands? Ah, there it is. It's on the island of... What island is this? I keep forgetting. Is it Sardinia? I don't know. No. Is it? Anyway, this is where he is. This is his seat of power, Cagliari. It's actually a republic. Earl William for England. I can't see that getting any sort of backing, to be honest with you. Pitiful excuse for a faction. Nothing for the king to worry about there. Oh, maybe I talked too soon. Somebody has joined it. Okay. Who is Earl William? He is House de Warenne. Does he have any bloodline? He has a weak claim on the Kingdom of England. I don't know how he has a weak claim. Taking part in the gossip sessions of your servants has proved an enlightening experience. Not only have you learned of new ways to obtain sensitive information, but also that one of the milkmaids is secretly carrying the blacksmith's unborn child. 2 intrigue gained. Good old George, still striving to better himself. And he's now leading troops in Vexin itself. 15,000 men, all under the banner of Duke George. 56% and increasing. Rightful imprisonment. Earl Robert of Devon, the Earl of Devon, seeks to fabricate a claim on the Duchy of Cornwall. Now, this is the first time that something like this has happened to us. So let's have a look. Earl Robert of Devon seeks to fabricate a claim on my duchy title? This is a difficult decision, because remember last time at the feast we became friends with that man. If we go on onto him here, my opinion of him is 87, his opinion of me is 100, and he would plot and scheme against his friend? He must be drunk, surely. I think Duke George is going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If this was a man that he didn't like, rightful imprisonment would not be a question. We'd stick him in the cells and let him rot. maybe ransom him off or banish him. But I wonder if his friends do it against him. I think we'll just assume that he's taken a knock to the head and he's not thinking straight.